Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. I'm Zach and this is my wife, Mindy. She's documenting all of our travels on her own channel, Mindy's Life and Adventures. So if you're interested in seeing our adventures, go check it out.
The link is in the description box below.
Today we're sharing our incredible journey from bankruptcy to being on the verge of early retirement next year through the FIRE movement.
We are so excited to tell you how we did it, the challenges we faced, and the tips for anyone wanting to pursue financial independence. So let's dive in. For those new to the term, FIRE stands for Financial Independence Retire Early. It's a lifestyle where you save and invest a large portion of your income, often between 50 and 70%, to retire much earlier than the traditional 62 to 65.
The goal is to build enough savings and investments so that the passive income covers your living expenses, giving you the freedom to work only if you want to. It's about living life on your terms.
The movement gained traction among the millennials in the 2010s, but it's for anyone who wants financial freedom. Let's share how we got started.
So, our story. We met in 2010. I had just started working as a financial advisor, but I was not making enough money doing that to pay my bills. So, I was working part-time at Domino's delivering pizza.
This is where we met. I was the GM at the Domino's location that he was at. I had recently filed and completed bankruptcy myself due to unfortunate circumstances from my previous marriage. I was doing okay, living paycheck to paycheck like most people.
We got married in 2013 and we bought a house together in 2014. We had each worked as managers for Domino's and that had provided enough money for us to cover our bills. When we moved into our new house, we didn't see ourselves continuing as managers for the new franchise. We stepped down and worked as delivery drivers, but we were definitely not making as much money as we had hoped for.
At this time, I convinced Zach to become a truck driver. I had gotten my CDL back in 2004 and had been holding on to it since. I knew if we could team together, we could make enough money to turn our situation around. However, shortly after, I injured my left wrist, leaving me out of work. This was the beginning of the setback that pushed Zach into filing bankruptcy.
I filed bankruptcy and we sold almost everything. We sold our new cars, which we really couldn't afford. We bought a single old vehicle, which we would share. We sold our home and we basically lived in our truck as we worked. We still had to pay off our student loans and Mindy's medical bills as they couldn't be included with my bankruptcy as it was just in my name. It took us 2.5 years to pay off all of our debts, but in 2018, we were officially debt-free.
Let me tell you, that was a hard couple of years. I cried, I was frustrated, and became depressed. Zach came up with a very cute and clever way to help me see our progress and keep me motivated. He had a Ziploc bag filled with Skittles. At the time, my favorite flavor was the berry kind. He had put it in the truck with us, and he put 2,000K on the bag.
200,000K.
200,000K, that's right. It's
That's
a
how
lot of
much,
money.
that's how much debt we owed.
Each Skittle represented $1,000. At the end of each month, we got to eat the amount that we paid off. So if it was $1,000, it was one Skittle. If it was 5,000, it was five Skittles. At the end, it was a lot of fun and it helped keep me motivated during that time. So this was a fun way to just kind of keep track and keep it going and kind of keep me in a more positive mindset. And let me tell you, eating that very last Skittle was the yummiest Skittle I've ever had and the absolutely most rewarding part of it all.
We mainly followed Dave Ramsey's baby steps during this time. We tried to do as Dave said and run from debt like a gazelle running for its life to escape lions. Along the way, we also continued to invest. But after we became debt-free, we were able to supercharge our investments. Mindy has always entrusted me with managing our investments.
That's right. I completely trust you with all of our finances. However, I'm always in the loop and we make decisions as a team. I believe it's important to play on the strengths of your partner, and Zach is very good with managing money and making smart decisions to help make it grow. We're not perfect and we've made some mistakes along the way.
It wasn't all smooth sailing. One big challenge was staying on course. As we made more progress with our income levels and growing our net worth, we had to remind each other what our ultimate goals were: retiring early.
We did finally start rewarding ourselves by going on some cruises. Needed some of that work life balance. This was a great way to keep our fire in our hearts going on while we were allowing ourselves to celebrate our gains. Today, we are thrilled to say we are on track to retire next year. We've saved over $900,000. We're moving into our Barista FIRE, which means we're doing a job that makes less money but brings us joy. Right now, the plan is for me to transition from my current career over to being a travel agent, which will generate us some income and allow us to start traveling the world, which is our dream.
Our plan for early retirement is to live in one country at a time for about 3 to 6 months before moving on. We plan to start our journey in Japan. Between Mindy's income as a travel agent and our investment portfolio, we should be able to meet our expected expenses. We're excited to have the flexibility to choose what's next.
If you're thinking about fire, start small. Track your expenses, set a savings goal, and invest consistently. It's not about perfection, it's about progress.
So, what books do we recommend along your fire journey? One of the best books is called The Simple Path to Wealth by J.L. Collins. If you're familiar at all with the fire journey, you've heard that name, and that book is very good about changing your mindset on how to simply build wealth. I would also recommend checking out the podcast Choose FI. Now, one of the books that I started out reading was actually The Automatic Millionaire by David Bach. He lays out a very simple process for anyone to become a millionaire. And also, you should check out Financially Stupid People Are Everywhere. Don't Be One of Them by Jason Kelly. These two books helped me the most along the way.
As far for us, we do not use real estate in any of our investment strategies. And we also don't use trends like cryptocurrency, and we do not pick stocks.
If you prefer a more hands off approach to investing and keeping things simple, then you can follow the advice laid out in those books I just mentioned. But for us, we wanted to gain a slight edge over the market without much additional risk. So we followed and have been following the advice laid out in Jason Kelly's book, The 3% Signal. I'll put the links to all these books in the description below. We also follow the 12% solution by David Allen Carter. These two authors, Jason Kelly and David Allen Carter, have developed strategies that can be implemented in a traditional retirement account such as a 401k or any investment account. They rely on index funds and ETFs and use mathematical formulas, not gut instincts. We have been able to increase our returns over the years by following these strategies. In future videos, I'll dive into these strategies more and walk you through our portfolio rebalancing process, which, by the way, happens on a regularly scheduled monthly and quarterly basis, so I don't have to stay glued to a screen watching a chart for signals. No stress, just the way I like it.
Our current investments have actually already grown to a high enough level for us to leave our jobs and start our nomadic journey today. So, you might ask, why don't we just start today? Well, here are the reasons.
Great point, Mindy. The first reason is that after we sold our house at the beginning of this year, we signed an 18-month lease on this apartment, and we don't want to be held liable for the rent payments if we aren't living here.
Right. The second reason is to give me an opportunity to learn and start making some income as a travel agent. We're also using this time to sell off most of our things and do much needed research for our lives abroad. I think it's safe to say this has been a pretty wild ride, right? From start to
Absolutely.
finish.
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
wow. the ups, the downs, the tears, the joy. But here we are. We've really worked hard to finally reach this stage in our life. And I hope our story has helped you become inspired to start your own journey. But you have to get started. And this is exactly why Zack has started this channel in hopes to help others reach their goals.
So if you enjoyed this video, please subscribe and share your own financial goals in the comments down below. We'd love to hear from you.
Until next time.
See you next time.